Alright guys, this is going to be just a short video. This worksheet is the graphing sheet that I gave out to mods 5, 6, 9, and 10 today. And I had a few requests from people to make a video on graphing because I think some of you guys still aren't quite 100% confident with the graphing, so I said that I would do 2 of them on video. So again, not required that you watch this, just in case you want to. So let's just do number 1 and 2. All right. So this is graphs of exponential functions. So exponents, everything exponents in here. So we are going to make a table. You can't graph these without making a table of values. You have to. So x and y table is going to give you your coordinates on the graph because an ordered pair is x, y. I always have to turn my page sideways to make a straight line. I don't know why I can't do it vertically. But anyway, all right, so every time that we make a graph, we're going to use the same 5 numbers. 0 because y-intercept, and then 1 and 2, -1 and -2. We'll start there, and if we need to add more, we definitely can, but those 5 are the basics. So for each one of these numbers, we're going to plug it in for x, which happens to be the exponent. So in the middle, I'm going to show my work. Y equals 4 times 2 to the 0 power plus 2. Y equals 4 times 2 plus 2. Y equals 4 times 2 squared plus 2. Again, I'm just writing this 5 times with each number plugged in where it belongs. All right, so there you go. So now I'm actually going to go through this and do the work. So let's, I don't know, start at the top. You need to follow your order of operations. A lot of people are just going to multiply, go left to right. They're going to multiply, then do the exponent, and then add 2. That's not how you do this. You need to follow PEMDAS. So we're going to start with the exponent. 2 raised to a power that is negative. That negative tells us we need to flip this upside down, okay? So the way I think of it is I still do 2 squared, which I know is 4, and then I'm going to take that 4 and move it upside down, flip it upside down, and 4 flipped upside down is 1/4. So really what I have here is 4 times 1/4, and basically that's 4 divided by 4, which is 1. So 1 plus 2, 3. For here, again, 2 to the first power is just 2, but the negative tells you need to flip it upside down. So 2 flipped around is 1/2. So 4 times 1/2, well, half of 4 is 2. Did I just put a plus? How dare me? 4 times 1/2. So this is 2 plus 2, 4. All right, here, 2 to the power 0, anything raised to an exponent that's 0 is just 1. So really, it's kind of like we can cross this off. So you have 4 plus 2. Okay, here, 2 to the first power is 2. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2. And then 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2. There you go. So these are all ordered pairs. -2, 3. -1, 4, 0, 6, 1, 10, 2, 18. The problem I see with this graph is that I don't have any decimals yet, and the decimals are really what tell me where my asymptote is. I did tell you guys that you can always look right here for your asymptote, so I definitely know that it's going to be 2. But I really would like to see it in my graph. I want to see my numbers approaching 2. So I'm gonna add another number to this table, and I'll just put it up here because I don't have a lot of space. So let's, after -2, let's try -3. So y equals 4 times 2. Okay. So again, we're gonna still do 2 cubed, 2 to the 3rd power, that's 8, and then this negative tells me flip it upside down. So 8 flipped is 1/8. So 4 times 1/8, 4 divided by 8, that's 1/2. So 1/2 plus 2 is 2.5. Okay, so now I am starting to get closer to 2 because now I'm getting into the decimals that are approaching 2 but not actually ever 2. All right, so I'm a little bit more confident with the numbers I have now. So I'm going to go ahead and graph them. So -3, 2.5. -1, 4. Oh my God, I skipped one. -2, 3. Then -1, 4. 0, 6, 1, 10, and 2, 18. Okay? All right, so you have a curve kind of creating here. I have to turn my paper upside down in order to draw this because I'm weird. I don't know why I can't do it when it's the other way. It's like my hand just won't do it. I don't know. It's shaky and it doesn't look right when I do it this way. But I am going to go through and make it a little darker because it's kind of hard to see on camera. Okay, there you go. So, same 5 questions that were on your notes before. Growth or decay? Definitely growth. Domain, all real numbers. We are going left and right infinitely. Range. Range depends on your asymptote. The asymptote is at 2. You know that from here and from your table and from your graph. So your graph itself is above 2, basically touching every number on the y-axis that is higher than 2, greater than 2. So y, we are greater than 2. And while we're talking about the asymptote, we might as well. Y equals 2, that's the line of the asymptote. And then the y-intercept, why not? It's in the table, but I want you to write it anyway. 0, 6, making a video. All right, one more. Some of my students were asking for me to graph exponential functions in a video because they're just having a real hard time with it. Most of them are fine, but some of them just want to see it again. I was really surprised actually at how well they picked up on it. Okay, same 5 numbers. Starting with the y-intercept. Again, I write it in the middle here so I can show my work. And that's all I'm doing right now. Whoops, 4. All right, start at the top. 2 squared is going to be 4, but the negative exponent means flip it upside down. So this is 1/4 times 1/4. That's 1/16. And I want that as a decimal. I think it's, isn't it 0.06? Yeah. Okay. 2 to the first power stays 2. Negative exponent, flip it upside down. So 1/4 times 1/2 is 1/8. I think that's 0.13. All right, 2 to the 0 power, this becomes 1. 1/4 times 1 is still 1/4. God, I keep writing the wrong thing. Okay, 2 to the first power is just 2, divided by 4, this is 1/2. 2 squared is 4, 1/4 of 4 is 1. Okay, so we have numbers that are approaching 0, so 0 is your asymptote in this problem. And you can see that in the equation itself. So we're going to go ahead and graph this. This graph's going to suck. -2, really close to the y-axis or x-axis. 1, 0 1/4. See how this graph sucks? All right, so these numbers are almost completely flat. I'm gonna do another one. Let's try 5. I'm gonna add 1 to my table so I can get a better look of my graph. 5 and 8. Why not? I can't like make the graph without flipping my paper upside down. I don't know why I can't. Like, my hand does better if I start below and then curve at the top, but if I do it this way and I start from above and come into a curve, I can't do it. It's all messy. I can't. It's so weird. Okay, so this one is also growth. Domain, all real numbers. Range depends on the asymptote, and we are above it. Y equals 0 for the asymptote. Y-intercept is in your table, but I want you to write it anyway. Okay, there you go. Hope it helped.